Hey bitches, welcome back to my channel. It is currently 3:20 in the morning right now, and you guys will notice that I'm solo for this video, but Dustin and I actually sat down and recorded this video in its entirety just to realize as I went to edit it that our microphone was not on. So I don't know if Miss Glamzilla is doing some bippity boppity boop on me, but we will get to her in a minute because you guys already know I am extremely elevated right now, and I was not about to let a setback like our microphone not being on stop me from getting the tea out there. Y'all, I had to put my glasses on because I was about to start squinting at the screen like Ariana Grande in a late night show. But the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that I have seen Emma Chamberlain get dragged left, right, and center across social media for the past 24 hours. The reason behind this is a lot of people are saying that she has become so unrelatable since she got the coffee line, started a modeling career, and bought the $4.3 million house.
Don't get it twisted. Emma Chamberlain is the most unrelatable 21-year-old out there. This whole new house tour is part of a very big rebrand for Emma Chamberlain's brand. She's gone from this very typical LA influencer style house to another very typical LA influencer style house. But this time it is brand all over it. It's the Emma Chamberlain coffee brand. And, you know, it's a PR move, but a lot of celebrities do that. I just couldn't help watching the video and not thinking that every second sentence she was trying to sound super relatable, and that just wasn't the case. That's just not the case in real life. Don't fall for it. The video was expertly crafted to skate that fine line that she always does between relatable and mega rich millionaire 21-year-old. What about this $100,000 table is relatable? Or this $31,000 chandelier? Or this 50,000 pound couch, which in US dollars is like $100,000? Nothing is relatable about that, but I guess that's not what you got from the video. Emma made a point of pointing to these $4 Etsy tins that she got, making sure that they were the central focus of the video, because you could get those too. You could have this house too. Or how authentic it is that she kept the original sink from the $4.5 million original purchase. All I'm saying is don't be fooled that any bit of this life is attainable or relatable. But keep buying those $23 tins of coffee so you can keep funding $12,000 mirrors. Coffee that's roasted in California, but where it's grown is unknown. Or maybe an $80 sweatshirt. Sure, it can be said Emma's worked hard for her success, but don't get it twisted. She's not the relatable queen anymore that you think she is.
As I was sitting here watching that TikTok, I was thinking to myself, how crazy it is the evolution that Emma Chamberlain actually has had. Because I think majority of us all remember Emma Chamberlain being the awkward third wheel to James Charles and the Dolan twins. Do y'all remember how uncomfortable those videos were between all four of them? Just the inappropriate comments that James would make to the Dolan twins to try to get a rise out of them.
Big nutcracker.
I don't know if I'm still gonna collect nutcrackers.
A silicone remake of James's body.
Oh my god.
Something that I would want.
Wait, what?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh.
Set. What is it? Go! What?
Just kidding.
Okay.
A sleeping bag so you could be warm and cozy with me in it.
I'm camping and just nature and being with the wild. Okay, it's good enough.
I love a good load.
And okay. If you don't want to stress about it, you probably could just wrap yourself up and give it to James. Oh my god. Butt naked or something. I think the serious thing that's gonna happen today is James is gonna attack Grayson. Dude, he's it must have been a ghost.
Thank God we have you to protect us.
Hating it. Why is your leg twitching when you hug him like that?
I was twitching, what the f?
I took the bait because I knew Grayson was going to say no at the altar.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Right now, because I'm curious.
Alright guys, well that was it for this week's video. Hope you guys
Well, I am pretty hungry, but can you just bang me instead?
anything, I'll eat stuff off the ground.
Anything?
Anyone else's mouth is on the ground?
So many YouTubers have the biggest entitlement factor ever, and it is so beyond gross and so annoying. Sweetie.
Oh and then they build up the audacity to literally wear the same Balenciagas every day.
Okay, I personally love sitting on boys, so this should be good for me.
Dear Santa, I hope you can give my good friend James a nice boyfriend so I can have a little more personal space.
We need 2 larges for our big beefy daddies.
My first wish would be for my dear friend James to get a boyfriend so I can get a little bit more personal space.
Right, but I don't do relationships.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, I was really hoping.
I remember remember back in the day when people would make videos about James and the Dolan twins and he would go and comment on them and be like, that is not true. They do not feel uncomfortable around me. And then flash forward to a few short months later and look at where their friendship is. All I know is James Charles was accused of a lot of stuff, and the names that were thrown out there that he did those things allegedly to, the Dolan twins were dropped into that, and they never came forward and said, no, that's not true. They never did nothing to take some heat off of James Charles. So, but the other reason that Emma is being talked about on social media is because somebody was over on her website and you can actually purchase, or you could, because they did take the website down after they received a shit ton of backlash for this. Well, somebody noticed over on her website that you could actually buy a personalized DM from Emma over on Instagram. And you're probably sitting there thinking to yourself, like, what is the price that somebody Emma Chamberlain size on social media, a model, all of that? What would they charge for a personalized DM? I remember back in the day when people got onto James Charles and Trisha Paytas because they were charging like $500 for a meet and greet. I think Trisha was charging like $500 for a cameo. But Emma Chamberlain and her team, they had it up on her website that you could purchase this personalized DM for $10,000. And if you didn't want to just drop that in one large lump sum, honestly, Emma and her team, they were thinking of the consumer and they decided to put Shop Pay. So if you wanted to do it and you wanted to make installments, you could pay $902 per payment. Does Shop Pay go weekly, bi-weekly, or is that by month? What I do know is it would be crazy to be dropping $902 numerous times just to get a personalized DM from Emma Chamberlain. It really makes me wonder though, like, is this an actual personalized DM from Emma if somebody was to pay this? Some of Emma's fans are saying this is actually a joke and she might have talked about this on a podcast before. A lot of people are also thinking that maybe this is something that they do want to offer and the $10,000 was just put so the price was so high that nobody would have paid it. But I wonder what would have happened if somebody during that time was like crazy enough to pay the $10,000. Is this an actual personalized message from her, or is it something that's already written out, like something that's like, thank you for the support, here's a discount code for my coffee, and then they just insert the person's name on it and send it on over? In my opinion, I definitely do not believe the conspiracy theory that this was a joke played by Emma and her team. If we were gonna go off conspiracy theories though, I feel like I'd be more so inclined to believe that this was a dummy page set up by Emma and her team because it's a service that they actually do want to offer, and that $10,000 was just put there because that was such a high amount that nobody was going to pay it. But then people are digging into it and looking, and there was actually a way that you could go into a checkout with that $10,000 purchase. So if it was a dummy page, why would that function be live? Can we revisit that Architectural Digest video that Emma Chamberlain did? The fact that that lady said that she had a $100,000 dining table, that I will never understand, because dining tables, they get scratched up. It's giving very much, it's just there for show, and after that video was done, like the real shit got brought in. Because if that stuff was not just staged in that house for that video, then I honestly do not understand how they are still trying to market Emma Chamberlain as this relatable queen. Oh my god, she's just like all of us. How many of y'all out there have a $100,000 dining table? Can y'all let me know? What is it made of? I definitely think there are some pieces of furniture that you should splurge and spend a little bit more money on. Number one is definitely gonna have to be an amazing couch. Number two is definitely gonna have to be a great mattress. And number three is definitely gonna have to be some great patio furniture. But honestly, I've never really been one of those people to sit at a dining room table to eat, and I don't think I would be comfortable at Emma Chamberlain's house if I sat down at that table and found out it was $100,000. Like, you would not even want to move. Moving on from that, there is another trend going around on TikTok right now, and that is influencers de-influencing other influencers. And by that I mean there are a lot of people speaking up now about their experience meeting their favorite influencers, or just meeting influencers at all, especially the ones in the beauty community. Every time I look at one of these videos, actually, I see a lot of comments about Glamzilla.
So I'm not one to start beef with influencers. Like, that is probably the worst thing I can do for my entire career ever. But sometimes it's tempting. There are some genuine bad people in this world, and all of us are just watching them, and it seems like everyone's just like, they're crazy. Well, like, if you don't like it, keep scrolling. I can't, because you're everywhere. Also, when people are like, I'm just so above drama and gossip, that's always the worst person in the entire room. Like, I'm waiting for you to leave so that I can tell everyone what just happened when you went to the bathroom. Unfortunately, I am not above gossip. Like, I like it. I really, really like it. Ugh. Why? I don't know, okay? I think it's because I like storylines. Like, it's almost like feels like I'm watching a movie in real life, kind of. Also, I miss the days of like public like beef. So sometimes I'm tempted to just like start name dropping in my videos and just like start a bunch of random wars for no reason. I'll just say, like, where there's smoke, there's fire with some of these people. I guess I have a different perspective though, because I'm from Ohio and like I grew up in a super poor family. So it's a little bit of a culture shock being around people who are just a little bit entitled, a lot of it entitled. Like, I was standing behind this influencer in line for the bathroom, and they were making fun of someone for having like fake designer and like cheap clothing. And I was like, oh my God, let me bring you back to Ohio with me, please. Please, let me just give you some context on the eyes that I'm viewing this conversation in. So I was poor 2 years ago. I stole an outfit for my 21st birthday from Target because I had no money. Also that day I ran out of gas and had to ask my brother for like $1 just to get home. I also had the great experience of listening to 2 influencers complaining about the bags, the designer bags that their parents got them for Christmas, and wishing that it was like this brand instead. Are you kidding me? My parents got me a wine opener for Christmas. Just like, okay, have that conversation in private, like not in front of people. I make many mistakes, right? Like I'm not perfect, but I just think that's annoying when people are like flaunting how much money they don't care about on social media. So yeah, sometimes calling people out is a little bit warranted. Like some of these people need to be put in their place. I'm just gonna be honest, and I want to bring some of them back to a high with me just to see what would happen. But pray for those 2 girls. I really hope they get better designer bags.
The #1 comment that I've seen under a lot of these TikToks detailing these stories is the fact that people are like, why are you not giving us the full tea? Like, why are you not name dropping and letting us know exactly who you're talking about? And I have to agree, because I was sitting here thinking like, why are they not name dropping? Do they not want the drama online for themselves? Are they worried that some of these influencers might have a larger audience than them, so their fans are gonna come and attack them? But then I came across this TikTok right here, and apparently, just judging from down in his comment section, defamation is a real thing, and he thinks that he might catch a lawsuit.
I'm not one to start beef with influencers. Like that is probably the worst thing I can do for my entire career ever.
Go watch Becca's entire video because I agree with everything she said, and when she talks, I'm sat and I'm listening. But one thing about me is I absolutely talk shit about influencers, and yeah, I am an influencer and it's sometimes counterproductive, but guess what? I do not care. Like Becca said, some of the people that you watch on these apps are some of the worst people I've ever met. And they are living their lives like they are the best thing that has ever hit the f***ing earth. When in reality, a lot of them are just plain old mean, annoying, and don't contribute anything to society and are only worried about putting money in their own pockets. For example, I was at an intimate screening last night for a new show that's on a streaming service, and it was just a bunch of influencers and some industry people, but it was very small. We were all in a little tiny theater, we got to meet the director and some of the cast. During this screening, I could literally hear big influencers behind me laughing at the show, and it's not a funny show. Essentially, they were laughing at the acting in the show, which is disrespectful in itself because you're on TikTok and they're on a big screen. As I've gotten more and more into this world, I have become so disgusted and turned off by the people that are also in the same world as me. It's very clear that some of them have never had a true interaction with a regular person beyond social media ever. I think there's also a fine line between bragging and being proud of yourself, and I think a lot of influencers love to throw their accomplishments in other influencers' face to get ahead. Because yeah, that's really shitty when someone's like, I'm working with 27 brands and I'm working with none. You're flying all around the world to work with brands and I'm stuck in my apartment working 2 jobs. I have also never been made so uncomfortable by anybody but influencers. For some reason, a lot of influencers like to associate the number of followers that they have with their status and the way they can treat people. And spoiler alert, the bigger the number, the nastier the person, in my personal experience. I get looked up and down coming into rooms because I'm not the most fashionable person and these people are wearing Gucci designer bullshit. I've been asked how many followers I have at events. I've talked to people who are clearly so disinterested into me because they simply do not know who I am. I'm so thankful that I can now go to a lot of these events with my boyfriend because I'm glad I have a person who isn't an absolute piece of shit. And if you don't think me and my boyfriend leave these events and talk shit about a lot of these people, you're delusional because we leave and we have a little kiki about how nasty some of these people are. Another thing I hate is how influencers love to use people but disguise it as collaboration. The amount of people who reached out to me after me and Justin's little trip to Australia was unreal. People being like, how did you get that? Why did you get to go? Who's your contact? I don't know you. Nor do I want to help people who are just nasty, rude, and trying to social climb. I refrain from calling people on social media my friends because I do not know these people. I will never know these people, and these people will do whatever it takes to get ahead in life. Most of them. At the end of the day, I've made a lot of great friends through being a content creator. I go out with these people. I get to see them a lot. I go to brunch with them. But it's because they're nice people, and I surround myself with people who make me feel good and don't make me feel like absolute shit. So yes, let's talk shit about influencers. Let's call them out by name if we have to.
My thing with this whole worried about getting a lawsuit thing is, if you're telling the truth, what do you have to be worried about? Now, personally for me, I would like them to start name dropping because I would love to know what influencer is making fun of the next for carrying around some fake designer shit. I think that making fun of someone, not just like throwing a little bit of shade at them, but actually making fun and looking down on them for carrying around something fake that is designer is just stupid. Like, how pretentious could you be? Like, at the end of the day, you know what, that person that you're making fun of for carrying around a fake bag while you are sitting over there with your like Birkin and shit, they're probably not in debt. But to be completely honest, that guy said in his video that there were a bunch of people that were basically trying to social climb him, like asking like, what's your connect here, what's your connect there. I don't give a fuck about that. That's how the beauty industry is. That's how the influencer business is. A lot of people want to get to the top and they don't care who they have to step on to get there. And they definitely don't care who they have to use to get there as well. I mean, Manny MUA honestly was called Manny Mooch for a reason. And I'm not co-signing that behavior at all. I actually think it's a very shitty thing. But what I am saying is that hearing about another social media influencer trying to social climb is literally like florals for spring. So moving on from that, we have to talk about none other than Glamzilla, because I was up really early yesterday, as in I did not go to bed from the night before until like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. And I received a notification on my phone that Glamzilla went live over on her Instagram. And I've never seen a Glamzilla live before. So I was like, oh, let me click on this. Like, what is she gonna say? And to use one of Glamzilla's favorite words, I definitely think it was a little bit weird, to be completely honest.
How would you feel if I called you weird? I'd be like, am I acting weird? Oh, I think, before I just didn't know calling someone weird was weird. Seriously. I just always used it in my vocabulary. Like, as someone being strange. I don't know. I think nowadays, because I have a larger following, and it's not even that large actually. It's pretty normal sized. A lot, like, I could say something small and it can easily get misconstrued. So I guess, you know what, these Instagram lives are kind of scary, because anybody could be screen recording you, and probably there are.
I really get the impression that she is one of those people that constantly has her name in Google, is looking up on YouTube what people are saying, is searching her name over on TikTok, because Glamzilla made it a point to say several times that there's probably people in here and they're screen recording and they're just waiting for me to say something and for me to mess up, and they want to make the 5-second clip to take it out of context. So when she said that several times as I was sitting there listening, I was like, girl, let me just click the little screen record button right here. And it was actually great timing that I clicked on screen record, because somebody was in her chat. A lot of people were asking her different questions. Well, there was somebody in there, and no, it was not me. I don't know who the fuck it was, but they were asking questions that were involving the drama that has been going on and the reason that Glamzilla has been getting talked about so much. And the number one question that they asked was, why do influencers not like disclosing that something is sponsored or that something is an ad? Now, I'm gonna play the clip for you of Glamzilla talking about that. Please really listen to what she's saying, but while you're doing that, really look at her mannerisms, because just the way that she's acting, I'm like, girl, you are so full of shit.
Why do influencers not disclose ads? You know what? We're seeing a huge shift. Actually, there was a time where nobody knew how to disclose, because I've been around for so long, nobody knew how to disclose ads properly. And we've seen a huge shift, actually. Majority of the people that we see with a hashtag ad, we have to do it, or else, like, they will come down on you so hard. We've seen it happen with Amber Rose. We've seen it happen with the Kardashians. And those are just bigger celebrities, what the fuck? Bigger personalities, right? But the influencer world, I think people are too scared not to disclose ads. But some people, I really and truly believe, misconstrue an ad with someone trying to get an ad. It's a big difference. Someone trying to get an ad is different than an ad. If you haven't watched Manny MUA's video, he really touches on it very well, I think. So go check that out. Can I elaborate further? What do you mean? I like, Manny MUA's video is very accurate. I truly believe that, like, for example, if I tell you, well, I actually use this. If I tell you this is my go-to in 60 seconds, and I apply it, and I go on there, there's a chance that L'Oreal will buy this video. But then there's a chance that you trick the mom that has $20 to buy a hyaluronic acid, right? And then she doesn't trust you anymore. And I don't think it's worth it. For what? $1,000 that you're gonna get from an ad just to boost it. I think TikTok has really changed marketing. And I noticed this 2 years ago, so I made a video on it, that I did not believe in going viral anymore. Like, I said this video, I said I do not believe in going viral because it doesn't actually help our economy and the beauty space. Yeah, I think a lot of people now care what I think. Before, y'all didn't. So I don't know, it's new to me. You know what? I can't speak on what anyone else has done. I can speak on what I have done. Because I don't think it's nice, and two, it's not professional. I don't care what a coworker of mine did. I don't care what a person in another building did. All I can tell you is about my experiences and what I think. Have you ever not disclosed an ad? I'm like thinking back to even 10 years ago. Anytime recently? No, I've never done that. Anytime in the past 5 years? No, I've never done that. But I'm thinking back to like 7 or 10 years ago where we didn't know. Maybe like 7 or 10 years ago when there wasn't the FTC guidelines. I think I had I'll tell you what it was. It was an Ipsy meet and greet at Generation Beauty. I had to post that I was going to be there, and technically that was an ad. So yeah, I for sure didn't, because I didn't know. Nowadays, because I have a larger following, and it's not even that large actually. It's pretty normal sized. A lot, like I could say something small and it can easily get misconstrued. So I guess, you know what, these Instagram lives are kind of scary, because anybody could be screen recording you, and probably there are, because there's just like people who don't want me to succeed, or kind of just take up space in the beauty space. I don't know, but what I've learned is we all can win. I'm not really a competitive person. I really don't care. It's just makeup. Let me tell you, in the 12 years, maybe I think it's 13 that I've been doing this, this is the first time, like, I think people care about what I have to say. Like, there's some people watching this live, like, screen recording, waiting for me to say something wrong, you know? And then they just take that 5 seconds and post it somewhere, and it can completely tell a different story than what we're saying here, you know? But it's bigger than me. We've just seen a very large shift. It's very interesting. Yeah, and I'm gonna say wrong things, and I'm totally okay with it. I give myself room to grow. I'm not somebody who says I have to be perfect, or anything like that. I think it's not that deep. It's fucking makeup. Like, who cares? This to me is a joy. Jessica Corinne, how are you, girl? Do you still drink wine? How's your husband? What time is it? Ooh. Good morning. Yeah. Canada's beauty economy is completely different. Like, we aren't like the States. We aren't like the States at all. A lot of people don't know I'm Canadian. What do I think about Bretman and what he said about the community? We actually had a conversation about it at the Super Bowl. And I'll tell you one thing about Bretman. This human being is so smart and very savvy and really brilliant, actually. He has they have a very beautiful mind. I think we all can learn a lot from a bunch of different people in the space. New, on the rise, people who've been here for years. Pros. That's what's so beautiful about the space. Like, nobody... Okay.
Now, y'all will have to let me know down in the comment section, but in my opinion, I definitely think that Glamzilla might have accidentally outed herself a little bit with the way that she does her content on social media. I honestly think the clip speaks for itself, because when somebody asked her, like, has there ever been a time where you haven't disclosed a sponsorship or you weren't honest about one? And she sat back, it was like a minute went by. I honestly thought the live stream was frozen when she sat back to be like, have I ever? No. Oh wait, this time about like 7 to 10 years ago, the fact that she went back 7 to 10 years to be like, yeah, there was this one time I went to Ipsy, I was doing a meet and greet, I didn't put hashtag ad, I didn't know that I was gonna have to do that. And in my opinion, the reason that she told people about that thing from 7 to 10 years ago at that Ipsy meet and greet, one, no one's really gonna care about that. That was like back in the day before Glamzilla was Glamzilla. And two, now a lot of her supporters that follow her blindly are gonna be like, no, she was honest with us. See, she told us about this one time. She didn't have to do that. She did that out of the kindness of her heart. Just like she was being so kind to those people that she was giving $100 Sephora gift cards to, knowing good goddamn well that Sephora a few hours later was gonna post a video over on their Instagram of her now promoting the fact that you can buy her nude sticks collaboration in all their US locations. There is another part of this live stream that I really wish that I would have screen recorded, because it got really juicy in this Glamzilla live stream. She was talking about how she has never been dishonest when it has come to a sponsorship, but there are some of your favorites out there that have been dishonest. And how does she know this? She knows this because when a campaign goes out for some of these brands, you can see exactly who is on the campaign with you. And she is claiming that some of these larger names out there that so many people are in love with have lied about sponsorships. Gee, I wonder who she could mean. Because there was actually another part of this live stream that I did record where people thought that she was referring to Mikayla.
Not everyone is always as you think they're gonna be. Sometimes they're just people having a bad day. Like, I once met this influencer. They're huge. They're like my makeup inspiration and idol. And they were not nice. But then I met them again, and they were. So it's just like, what the hell? I don't know what to believe.
Because she was detailing how a lot of these influencers, just as those people earlier in the video were saying, are not the same person that you see online. And she was describing this person as like her makeup idol, her biggest inspiration, all of that. Well, she said that the first time that she met this person that she like idolized, they were not very nice. But the second time that they met, they were actually nice. And she doesn't know, like, what the hell? Like, what's real? Like, what's going on? Well, there were people talking about this over on Reddit, and they were saying that they think that she was actually talking about Mikayla, because you know that they went on the Wyoming trip together with Glow Recipe, I believe the brand was. And then they were at the Super Bowl together. So people are like, was it Mikayla? Because there have been stories that have come out before that people have met Mikayla. She has not been very nice, allegedly. And then they met her again and she was just sweet as pie. So you guys will have to let me know down below who you think Glamzilla was referring to in that last clip. And with that said, everyone, that is it for this video. I am going to wrap it up. It is now 6 o'clock in the morning. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions down below. And if you guys have made it this far in the video, please leave the sleeping emoji down below, because honestly, that is what I'm about to go do. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.